Hey guys, great to see everybody today. We're live on the Gold Rush. I've brought a friend, Alfonso. So Alfonso always has really great stuff to bring and talk about. And Sam made a funny joke. He said, "When you think I have a lot of charts, wait till you talk to Alfonso. Alfonso always has so many charts on deck." And because I was like, "Man, I don't know if I have enough charts today," he said, "Alfonso's got you," and he was right. Alfonso has brought some great charts for everybody today. We're going to get into it. So, first off, Alfonso, how are you doing today? Welcome to Gold Rush Live. Glad to have you, man.
Hey, what's up, Jason? I'm very happy to join you today. I think it's my first appearance in the Gold Rush video, so I'm very excited to talk to you about macro gold and other stuff. And of course, we bring, of course, a lot of charts. I think charts tell a good story, and let's start this nice conversation.
Let's do it. So, as always, guys, and you guys know this who's been following me for a while, I'm always going to start with the dollar. Dollar's always the most significant piece for me if I'm looking at global macro markets, just to see where we're at. And right now, looking at the dollar, there's a couple things you could take from it. One, we were talking about it all-star charts at the beginning of the year, which is that top in the dollar. Basically, commercial hedgers started selling the dollar heavily. Speculators, which are known as the dumb money, continued to buy the dollar heavily. These got to very extreme positioning, and then we had that positioning shift as it rolled over. Came all the way back to the bottom of the range down to 100, and now it's kind of making a little scoop and score pattern that some people at All Star Charts have already started to talk about. So, if we're looking at this here, are we looking at more consolidation? Do we think this thing can go lower? What are you looking at here, Alfonso? Especially as a guy, I love talking to Alfonso because he's also a guy like me who looks at the global markets and where we're at globally, and the dollar's always an important piece of that. So, what are you thinking about the dollar right now, Alfonso?
Look, I mean, it's right there at a key support around 100. The last two times or three times we were right here. The dollar bounced aggressively to the upside. I think this downtrend from this year, I think it's a little bit, extended. So I think some consolidation around this level is guaranteed in the next few weeks and days. If you look at the pattern, at the short-term pattern, if you zoom in the chart, you will see like a special kind of pennant or flag formation there, right in a key level. So I think we will get a resolution sooner rather than later from these levels.
Yeah, I mean it's always kind of jumping around. You guys, I'm sharing the charts today, so if you guys give me a hand and retweet, share this, make sure it gets out to people, especially the people who need to see this, because a lot of people are losing money in the markets this year, and there's plenty of places that are holding up pretty strong, and it all comes back to this dollar thesis. So just like Alfonso, it's a very mixed picture here. And like he said, it's extended. But sometimes when I see a move like that, that's that big, that quickly after a false breakout to the upside, I think that thing can go lower. So I'm kind of betting on this thing going lower. Once again, I'm not sure exactly how that's going to look. Is it going to go sideways for a while and then lower? I'm not sure just yet. But looking at it the way it is today, I'd say there's no reason to think this thing is just problem solved. This thing's going to go right back to the upside. I think most importantly, right now, I think the dollar's probably stuck in a messy range. I think it's probably stuck in a messy range is probably the highest probable bet, and possibly lower would probably be the second most probable bet. What do you think about that, Alfonso? Do you think this thing could actually move the other direction?
Look, when I think about the dollar, I have to think about the euro. It makes nearly 60% of the dollar index. It's basically the inverse chart of the dollar index, right? So right now we're right there. We're dancing at a key level. I think this pattern and this resolution from this pattern will mark the next phase in the dollar. I think some choppy sideways mass around this area. I don't see right now like a decisive resolution. To be honest, so I can expect some sideways and choppy action around these lows in the dollar index. That's where my head is at right now.
No, I like that because I think that's kind of the state of a lot of the market right now. There's a lot of indecision, and there's a lot of ways this thing can go. Go to the next one. You guys know me. I love big picture macro stuff, and this is kind of just showing you that massive outperformance we've seen in gold. Gold compared to commodities, basically everything. I could put this chart of gold against bonds, against stocks, it's against commodities. It's going to look exactly the same. Gold is just ripping to the upside, leaving almost everything in the dust. But the thing I'm kind of highlighting right now is that we're kind of getting to that peak we saw after the after in or sorry in 2020. We saw that huge peak in 2020 in August 2020, and that was compared to stocks, everything basically, and then it moved the other direction. So, are we looking for this thing to kind of be a blow off top once again here? Do you think that some of the other commodity complex could start to catch up to gold? What are you thinking about gold here? Because I know you brought some charts on gold. We'll get to that, but let's just talk about it compared to commodities, compared to the S&P 500. Do you think that this thing has more to go in outperformance?
Look, I will. If you can go to slide 9, I brought the gold versus stocks ratio. It has been carving a nice base, and we're right there, right at that 2020 peak. It is kind of a resistance level. So I mean, I don't know. The line in the sign is very clear. I will expect. I mean, we can expect some consolidation in gold, like a pause here relative to stocks around this level. I think that will make sense, to be honest. But gold has been ripping higher all year in a vertical line. Has been outperforming stocks. If you go to slide 8, you will see that reversal base in the short term spiking. And right now we're reaching those 2020 highs, and I think we could see some consolidation here, some rotation back into equities. I think that will make some sense because remember, I mean, in the past couple of months, especially March and April, the stock market, at least in the United States, major indexes went down almost 20%. The average drawdown in the S&P 500 stocks it was at around 25%. And the only thing working here was gold, right? So gold was like a safe haven asset during this corrective phase that we just saw. So I think some rotation into equity, into risk on areas of the market in general will make sense.
No, I think so too. I think that makes a lot of sense. I love this chart too, and another one I just brought a different chart, kind of different timeline of it, just showing that long-term picture there. So and the thing to really take away from this is what did the stock market look like during this period of time? And the stock market was under a lot of pressure, even though the S&P 500 did go up from 2003 to 2007. It didn't go up nearly as much as gold. It didn't go up nearly as much as something like Brazil. I think Brazil was up almost 700% in that same period of time. So once again, what does the market look like if gold is that big of an outperformer? Because there was even periods of time in this where gold wasn't really going up, but compared to the market, it was. So something to keep in mind for everybody. Next one up. So this one literally came and gave me an alert right before I hopped on here, which is this is breaking out. Got a signal today. So this is GDXJ, which is junior gold miners versus gold miners, and that's been another huge base, long-term base. So this is a 3-year breakout that we're seeing today in junior gold miners against gold miners. For me, the gold mining trend is very interesting because it's a gold to me. I feel we're kind of in a situation where gold could consolidate. There's a lot of things that can happen with gold here, but the junior miners, the gold miners, they look like they're kind of just getting started. Did you bring a slide for the gold miners?
I think I brought a slide, yeah, slide 10. But that chart that you just showed, do you think if we get that breakout in favor of junior gold miners relative to the gold miners, will favor, the secular trend in precious metals? You
I
think
think
that's something positive?
yes, that's positive, and to me, this is kind of the most positive thing I've seen for gold right now. Because if we're looking at gold, and the reason why it's kind of been like a toss up, because you're not seeing the normal movements of a cycle. Usually, gold moves first. That's true, but then silver starts to move. We haven't really seen that really happen yet, but gold miners are moving. That's another risk on piece of the market. That's also a good sign for gold. And then junior miners outperforming gold miners. Usually, that's only in an environment where silver is doing really well. Silver is usually the one that's leading the way in the later part of the cycle. So I think that this could just say, hey, we do see some risk on in this market. We could go higher here. And don't bet against it. To me, I'm just more than anything, it's like I hear people keep talking about shorting gold, and I'm like, it's like shorting a runaway train at this point. Like, don't do it. Even looking at some of the levels, like I can see, I'm a trend follower, and I can even see, yes, it's extended. I'm still going to be long the position, and it's extended. But no matter what, I just wouldn't short a runaway train. But I do think there's definitely some positives here. Also, another thing that's positive, which is the COT meaning report, the commercials, which is a smart money, they continue to buy gold on the pullbacks on the way up. You don't see that much. And when that does happen, it's usually supportive of a longer uptrend, not to mention global buying from the global central banks in Asia and so on. I mean, it's kind of endless to think that, yes, gold could go higher here, but there's also reasons to think you should manage risk here. Um,
Right.
that's the biggest thought on my mind about that.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the primary trend in gold, it's clearly higher. I prefer do not fight trends. The trend is my friend in this case. I'm a trend follower, just like you. Um, even though I think in the short term, I think we're a little bit extended. I think gold it's reaching a key level, like extension level. And I'm not so big like a big fan of the extensions, right? But when the charts respect this fib extension so well, if you go to the slide 7, it makes it makes them like more important, right? So gold right here, notice how gold consolidated right below the 161, then right above the 161 extension again. So some kind of consolidation in that way, I think we could see. I think, in fact, I think it could be very healthy. Just a step down and then continue higher. I think we will eventually hit 4,700. I think that's the most logical level as long as we're above 3,300. So some consolidation here. If you go to slide 6, you will see why I think we could see some kind of digestion. So here's gold futures going back to the 2000, 25 years ago, and in the lower pane you're seeing the percentage of the percent from the 200-day moving average. It's reaching a highest level, right? The highest level in almost 15 years. And every time that gold reached this threshold, we saw some kind of consolidation. And if you see the nature of that consolidation, it was very short term, and it was within an ongoing uptrend. So I think we're in the early stages of a secular bull market for gold. And I think we will eventually over the longer time frame it will go higher.
Yeah, I love this chart because it's one, it shows a couple things, which is when everybody thinks things are overbought, they're not usually, and then it shows another thing when things do get overbought, there are pullbacks and they are going to be messy. But that doesn't mean the trend is over. So I really like this chart. I think it is showing though, like the thing we could say just price action alone, if we look at nothing else, that gold is probably due for consolidation, a pullback, something. But to me, I think it'd be very normal to see gold consolidate here and to see like the gold miners actually finally continue to go when gold consolidates. That would be the biggest signal to me that silver is probably the next to start to come in and start.
Exactly. Yeah. And will you expect? I mean, if gold it's gets in a consolidation phase, will you expect silver to catch up during that process during that time?
It should. That's the
Exactly.
thing. It should, but once again, it's a market. So it's like there's
Right.
choices and there's people who can do whatever they want to do with their money. So who knows? But like that would make the most sense. To me, that would tell me that this is going to continue. If gold consolidated, even lately, we have seen some outperformance in silver just in the last few weeks. Nothing that's really significant just yet, but we're starting to see silver try to bottom out, try to start outperforming. We did see it outperforming this year for periods of time. So it just needs to really come back. The thing that about silver and gold is the pullbacks in silver are always going to be much bigger than gold. So that's going to wipe away everything for the entire year, basically, which kind of did happen. But when it starts to move back up, it should be outperforming gold if we're in a precious metals bull cycle. Even think of 2020. In 2020, after March 2020, off of the bottom, silver hit about $10. It bounced all the way up to 30, and that was
Yeah.
only within that had to be only from March 2020 all the way to August 2020. I'm not looking at the chart right now, but I think those are the dates. So you're looking at this huge move happening in silver very quickly. So that can happen. That's the reason why I keep telling people don't just overlook it. Now, once again, it's tough. It's a tough trade. It's going to be much tougher to trade silver than gold. You want an easy trade, trade gold. You want a trade that's going to make you a ton of money, look at the gold miners, look at silver miners. But it's going to be a much tougher trade. The volatility is going to be much higher. The pullbacks are going to be much bigger. But that's how we do it as a trader. That's how you make money as a trader. You take that risk. So I do think that silver is probably going to come back at some point. I think that'll probably be the interesting one into August this year. From now till August, I think we'll start to see silver really pick up, and that would tell me, hey, this is a precious metals bull cycle. Don't look at gold as it's all the way up here and look scary and think I need to be out of the rest of these. Just think, hey, maybe the market's rotating into these other areas, and that's where we're going to make money going forward.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think, I mean, if silver is gonna go, it will do it when nobody expected, right? I mean, I have been
Yeah.
expecting silver. The setup has been there. It has been breaking out. It failed, breaks out, it fails. So I think it will happen when nobody believes in silver anymore, and then it will be a nice surprise. And you're mentioning the summer for silver, right?
Yes.
I'm saying some seasonality, at least for gold. And I think in the past 50 years, the best month, historically speaking, has been July. August and September has been positive months too, but July definitely stands out. So, I'm not that guy like an expert in seasonality, but I think that will makes some sense.
It just gives it some tailwinds, like we have tailwinds coming in our direction to kind of help this trade move up in a couple different ways. But I think the biggest indicator is going to be is silver outperforming. That's what everybody should be keeping an eye on. Are the gold miners going to continue to outperform? I mean, even when you look at the gold miners, from far out, look at a weekly chart over the last few years, it looks like the trend's just starting. So it's very hard for me to get behind any feelings of this is over. I'm more of the opinion that this is a precious metals bull cycle. A lot of people haven't seen one of those before. There's no fever like gold fever is the old way of saying it. I mean, look at that run, the chart we're looking at right now from 2000 all the way to that was 2011 where it peaked. That
Yeah.
was a huge run. That's what gold does at during certain periods of time.
There was what 10 years of gold rising, right?
Yep.
It was
Yep.
was incredible. Yeah.
Incredible. I
So
mean, it bottomed in 99, bottomed in 99, and then it just ran all the way to 2011. And it
right.
really, the pullbacks in Great Financial Crisis, that was a big one. I do remember that being large. But the rest of it was pretty smooth. And that's the thing. What it's doing right now is very normal for it. A lot of people keep going, this needs a pullback, this needs to do that. Gold tends to trend. And this thing, when it trends, it looks like nothing else you've ever seen in the market. So I
Right.
just think it's moving nicely. Continue to watch silver. Hopefully see that outperformance, and that's going to be the thing that really takes this trade to the next level for all of us. And I think that's the next step. That's we're making money. I mean, we're making money like crazy at the gold rush, just buying the miners. And I'm not saying we're the smartest guys in the room. I am saying that it's a bull market. Yeah, so in a bull market, you could spin around and throw a dart at good names as long as you have good names and you're going to make money. We know a lot of the good names, so we're making good picks, but we're also in a great bull market for gold. So you guys buying those gold miners, like that's where the money's coming from. You're looking at a 20% move in gold. You're looking at a 100% move in some of these miners. So it's definitely something you guys want to check out that we do every single week at the Gold Rush, and we even have trades of the week that comes out on Monday. Um, so kind of getting into the rest of these because you brought some really great charts, and I always
Yeah,
love talking with you because there's
if you want to drop slide 11, the one above this one, you will see, here silver, setting up, shaping up very, very nicely, very similar to where gold was in 2024 before this nice run. And as you mentioned, I mean, don't be afraid, to trade these gold and silver miners, because when these stocks move, they really move, and these are wild. And I don't think too many people know them and know the nature of these stocks. But when they trend, and they can bring us, very good results and profits. So I like them. They're very juicy, so I like them a lot.
all right. Well, thanks, Alfonso, for coming on, man. Really appreciate you doing this with us, man. As always, definitely check out the Gold Rush. By the way, I did bring a sheet. I always forget about this at the end, but definitely check us out if you guys want to see more research from us. Sam and I also, you guys could sign up for the premium program, which gets you access to Alfonso as well and all of our analysts at the analyst team. So trade alerts from All Star Charts commodity trades. You get that on Mondays and Fridays. Price levels, whatever you guys are looking for, we've got it all and a lot more than what's just showing here. So definitely check out the page. Make sure to click the link to join, and we'll see you guys soon. Alfonso, thanks again for having us, man, or being on, man. That
No,
was great.
thank you very much. This was very fun. Thank you, everybody that is watching. And you guys are crushing it. So I'm very happy for that. So thank you very much for having me, Jason.
Yep. You take it easy, Alfonso.
You too.